Hello, everyone, and this is Felicia Bell from RDNS Farm, Brandon, Mississippi. So, today's topic is, are your children eating you out of a house and a home? Yes, we're going through trying times right now, and we know that all of our families are with us within our homes. So we have our college students, as well as our high school students, and our younger babies and toddlers. And so we could have up to 10 people in our home right now. And so I wanted to share some information with each and every one of you on how to preserve and also teach our children to conserve the food that we have within our pantry, as well as in our refrigerator and freezer. So one of the strategies that I want to talk about is how we go out into the world and purchase our food. So a lot of us, we went out, we purchased food for these times to have our stock in our homes. But I noticed as I was going through the grocery stores is that a lot of families and parents that were buying food with empty calories. And let me explain. These foods are basically a filler. They're filling the bellies of your children. They're filling the bellies of yourself as well. You're eating these foods. They sustain you at that moment. So you're able to eat food. You are filled, so you feel full, you're able to eat that food, but you did not get any nutritional value from that food. That's what empty calories mean. So you're purchasing things like our snack food, I guess I will say, but it's many other foods, but I'm gonna use snack food as an example. So if you have chips, you have frozen pizzas, you have sometimes even our canned fruit and vegetables. They don't always have the nutritional value that we need on a daily basis. And so again, it's called empty calories. So as most of you all know, I love to teach, and I also love to teach on food. And so any terminology that I'm utilizing, please do the research. Look it up, empty calories. And then you can define it for yourself and for your family on what foods you need to purchase in the near future. Because again, we are in these times right now where we need to stockpile food for the amount of people we have in our home, but we want to make sure that we're getting the right foods to make sure that we're giving our families the nutritional value and density that they need. So next is complete meals. So what does that mean? We want to make sure, and I know most parents that cook know what that means, complete meals. So let's take a look at that and let's get a little bit deeper into that. It is not just meat, potatoes, veggies, and bread. That's what most of us eat. That's the way we eat. That's the way we've been taught to eat. So meat, potatoes, veggies, and bread. That is basically a full, complete meal for most of us. It is the vitamin and minerals, including trace minerals, that keep our body functioning properly. So when I say complete meal, I'm not talking about the meat, the potatoes, the veggies, and the bread. I'm specifically talking about, again, the nutritional density and complexity of the food that you're eating. So when you eat the right food and it has the nutritional components in it, your vitamins, your minerals, your trace minerals, you now are getting a complete meal. So that's what I mean when I say a complete meal, which now includes your meats, it includes your vegetables, it includes your potatoes, your starches, and your breads. But we want to make sure that you are purchasing the right produce, the right meat, the right bread, because we don't want to be spending our hard-earned money on food that has empty calories, more chemicals than it has nutrition. So we want to make sure that we're partaking of the food that's going to sustain our family during these trying times. Another example is I mostly eat one meal a day, but it is robust. And robust just means, you know, a hearty meal. It's a fulfilling meal. I'm not a snack food eater. I don't do a lot of that. So most of my meals are actually what I could call food. So not chips and cookies and stuff like that. I just don't partake of that as much as other people do. I do eat chips. I do eat cookies that my 14-year-old baker prepares that are vegan. And so I do eat those things, but I don't eat them on a daily basis or have that desire to eat them all the time. And so my body is always pulling in what it desires. What that means is the vitamins and minerals from the food that I eat, it's being sustained. So eating that one time a day, two times a day, it sustains me. I'm never hungry. I'm not famished. I'm not, always thinking about food. It's because I'm eating a dense, nutritional, complete meal. And that's what my body wants. That's what it desires. And so that's why I'm not hungry. So moving on to some more tips and strategies. So to curb your children's desire to go to the refrigerator 10 times in 1 hour, because I've been hearing that, the food that is offered has to be nutritionally dense. So again, I'm repeating myself. We want to make sure that that food is nutritious, and that means your vitamins, minerals, and trace minerals. So let's go back and think about our grandparents. Do you remember when they would only eat greens and cornbread, and that would be a meal? And most of us could not eat like that today. Most of us would be like, oh, that is not enough food for me to eat. But again, nutritionally sound and dense. So they would eat a plate or bowl of greens and have one square cut of cornbread, and that would be a meal. So you have to ask yourself, why? Why was your grandparents, some of you great grandparents, were not hungry after that? 2 hours later, they're not hungry. Again, complete meal. So keep that in mind, nutritionally dense. Lastly, one of the things that I like to share, and some of you know that we have had and still utilize our vegan and vegetarian cafe. We have offered food to people, Erata Cookery, as well as vegan treats with our vegan donuts and vegan baked goods that my 14-year-old son does at this time. So one of the measures and tools that I used was a crock pot. So I was teaching different families and individuals when they would come into the cafe on how to utilize a crock pot. That ensures rather that you're getting that complete meal. What I said about vitamins, minerals, and including our trace minerals, which are very, very important. And so utilizing a crock pot, you're creating a complete meal scenario within your crock pot, within an Instapot, pressure cooker, all of the different kitchen tools that have been utilized when you were a little child. You heard your parents or grandparents utilizing these. You saw these utensils in those kitchens. Now we have to bring them into our kitchens. Again, I'm gonna list them: crock pot, pressure cooker. We now have the modern day Instapot, and also moving into doing casseroles. A lot of us were brought up on casseroles. Moving back to that, again, dense food, complete food. We want to make sure that that's what we're doing. So an example of that is like rice and beans. Again, I mentioned that our grandparents utilized greens with cornbread. Another dense food is rice and beans. It's simple, but it sustains us during these times. So stocking up on bulk rice, stocking up on bulk beans would be very important at this time. But if you would cook a stew or a soup, broth, and put over the rice and beans, that makes it even better as well. And one of the things I wanted to share is learning how to make your vegetable broth, your chicken broth, beef broth. Let's start moving back to the way of our grandmothers, the way they cooked. And so we're not always having to go out and buy vegetable stock and buy beef stock and chicken stock. learning how to cook those things. So a brief example of that is vegetable stock is what I utilize all the time. And so knowing how to do that is utilizing all the vegetables you have. I utilize celery, onions, garlic, bell peppers, any type of vegetables I have to pull out that nutritional value out of those vegetables. And then I'm pouring up and straining that into my various containers. And then when I utilize a recipe that asks for vegetable stock, I can pull from what I have. And so again, buying in bulk, very important. So you can buy your celery, your onions, your garlic, all of those things. You can buy it in bulk as well as your meats. And then you could create your own stock from that and be able to cook your stews, your soups, even adding it into your crock pot and pressure cooker and Instapot. So another example of a dish is spaghetti. Most children love spaghetti, regardless of the age. Even the college students, our grown children, enjoy spaghetti. It's a quick meal to make. But adding vegetables, adding greens, of course, our herbs to season it with, and then like onion, garlic, bell pepper, you can add that as well into the water as you're cooking. And it's coming to a boil, you can add those fresh vegetables into your water and then start adding the various other things. So starting out again, example of a good recipe is you start out with your water, you adding in your fresh vegetables, your onions, green onions, as well as bell pepper, your garlic, and any type of herbs that you like. You add all of that into your water and then you bring it to a boil. As that is cooking, so you want it to fully cook, and then you add in your spaghetti, of course, which does not take a long time at all. Lastly, you will start doing some of your greens. So if you wanted to add in some of your mustards or collards, if it's during the winter months and during the spring and summer, you're adding in your spinach and your kale. I like to add in other vegetables at that time as well as broccoli and green peas and different things like that. Carrots, I add that in at that time. And then, of course, you're letting it cook fully to the amount of time for your pasta. And now you have a complete meal. Again, vitamins, minerals, and trace minerals as your complete meal. And of course, homemade bread. I've been so excited about my 14-year-old. Again, I said he's a baker. And so he's been providing us with bread, fresh bread. So you know our house smells so good right now. But I've been enjoying eating our cornbread muffins and our different loaves of bread that he have done for us. It's been very, very good to partake of with any of these stews, your soups, your crock pot meals. It's just been a very, very good time to eat. So I hope I have helped you understand how to kind of keep those children out of the refrigerator is nutritionally dense food. So again, my name is Felicia Bell. I'm representing RDNS Farm, and we just briefly went over how to curb the appetite of our children, regardless of their age, that's in our homes right now, that are going to that refrigerator. So keep in mind that RDNS Farm provides education across the board in farming, gardening, as well as health and wellness. And like you just learned, food preparation and meal plans and different things like that and recipes. So we want you to know that we offer an education as growing your food, eating your food, and food as medicine. Thank you so much for joining us today. And look us up on Facebook and Instagram under RDNS Farm. And definitely this will be on our YouTube channel. So subscribe and like this video. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.